Well,
We agree.
He has
They
new
don't count.
storyboards that he wrote a long time ago.
Listen, RJ, I'm calling you out, bro. If I know you're a huge Marvel fan,
And yes, check
if
out
they
Project Justice League.
if they introduced the Avengers and hinted at Thanos and just stopped making movies, you would be pissed as all.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
And I don't. But every time you bring it, every time you bring this up, Marvel fans say, "Well, it wasn't as successful as MCU." It doesn't freaking matter if you introduce Thanos and then you don't conclude that, or you assemble the Avengers and you don't follow up. That's bullshit.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I don't believe people. I love you, bros. I don't believe people that if you're fandom of something else that you love.
In the theater. But the problem is that did divide the fan base.
Hold on, let me finish. I don't believe other fanboys that if they started something and they assembled an amazing team of superheroes or the Star Trek or whatever, and it's the most favorite thing you love, it's your favorite thing. I know you like the Snyder cut, but is it your favorite thing? No, you called it even an Elseworlds story the last week, and I was like, really, RJ? Now it's an Elseworlds thing?
Well, no. That's the thing. That's
I'm
finishing my hot take. I don't believe if it's your favorite thing, and then the MCU they get that stuff together, that you would just be like, okay, well that's the way they win. Bullshit.
But listen, nobody at Marvel Studios thought the Avengers would have barely. Nobody. If Avengers would have made 800 million, 900, they would have been happy.
It doesn't matter. They still assembled it, and then they never follow through.
That's the thing that William and I keep saying. If they're not, like you've been saying in the past, Warner Brothers has shown that they can't finish a story. So if they decide to move on, how do we know they're going to even finish it?
Here we go.
It's the track record, you know.
Here we go, RJ. So audiences didn't reject the Avengers. They didn't completely reject the Justice League. They didn't like that particular film.
Yeah,
they didn't reject the whole Justice League. Wonder Woman was still a success. Aquaman was still a success. They all liked Superman, and they said this is one of the best Batman ever, even if they didn't like Batman BVS. They didn't reject the Justice League.
I'll say this about Marvel. Okay, the first few movies of Marvel were all successful before Avengers movie. Like Thor, the first Thor movie was successful. Captain America was successful. Iron Man 2, you could say was successful or not. Iron Man successful, but the movies after that, Iron Man 3 and Thor 2 were really bad. But it did not hinder Marvel.
Well, can I ask
Iron Man 3 make $1 billion. Iron Man 3.
Oh my God!
Yeah, but it's not a good movie though. It made money.
It still wasn't that great.
I apologize. I gotta handle RJ. I am tired of blaming the customers. Well, why didn't you show up for Black Adam? Because the messaging is still all over the place. Really? Because they didn't say in confidence, this is what we're doing now. They threw you a bone 4 seconds at the last second. They didn't have confidence behind it. And people don't trust Warner Brothers.
We're thinking
can I say something though? Hold on.
Wait.
Here's how Black Adam would have made more money. If they would have just announced a Man of Steel 2 and a Justice League 2 before Black Adam came out.
They had to do was say, Cavill is back. We are excited to be working with our Superman. Superman is a focus. Show some confidence. Would have that got it to 800 million? No, but it would have helped.
Or just announce the stuff that people wanted.
Instead of having two different factions, James Gunn and Peters in Pam Abdi and Mike DeLuca and The Rock developing two different conflicting scenarios. Instead of saying this, we're working with them, we're trying to develop this, we're going to see if we can get the Justice League back together, they would show some confidence, and it could have been better.
Yeah, just putting Superman in as a cameo and Black Adam is not enough, because that just because what does that tell us? Like what are they going to do after that? You're being disingenuous, RJ, because you're acting like that the situation from Warner Brothers and the messaging wasn't shit for years.
for years. No one has any confidence. Just like when the Amazing Spider-Man with
Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield. The messaging was bad there too. It's just
But the messaging wasn't bad. It was just a bad movie.
Well,
Really hurt everything.
Yeah,
And him.
it was terrible. Well,
Can I ask how did these
or
DC
Spider-Man
movies-
after Spider-Man 3? The Sony messaging was just all over the place. It was just
No,
bad.
during
Oh,
Spider-Man
that's-
3, the messaging
Toy
was.
Story because Sam Raimi wanted time to rewrite Spider-Man 4. He
The
didn't like
consumer.
the script for Spider-Man 4,
Hey, yo, Max,
and
check out what I'm
he
sharing.
wanted more time. And
Well, can I ask how did these movies divide the
That's
fan
awesome,
base?
man.
Yeah.
That's
How
So
does
wait. Can I just say something? This is what I think Zack Snyder's The Hulk would look like.
nice.
Yeah, you get the Hulk there, and
How did his movies divide? How did the DC movies divide the fan base?
that looks like
Listen.
something I know.
I love RJ.
wait, and I've got another one.
Wait, we are.
I got
But can
another
we
one.
just?
All right.
Why are we talking about?
And
Warner
here's
Brothers?
this one. Here's this one I just did. Like
Yes,
General
awesome,
Ross
awesome.
and the guy who becomes
Oh wow!
Abomination.
It's not. Here's the thing I want to say to RJ. It's not just
That's
that
true.
you gave him Superman and that's all it would have taken, and then we didn't show up. It's because the messaging was so bad that no one trusts Warner Brothers. Like, what the hell are they doing? They laid it to the last minute, and it was like a Band-Aid on a movie instead of promoting and showing confidence. What if they would have gone to Comic-Con and brought Henry Cavill on stage? That would have given Marvel.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Back in last Comic-Con, they
No,
should have
but-
announced Man of Steel 2 and Justice League 2.
That happened in
They
I
should
wouldn't
not
say
have to
Justice.
wait
I
for
wouldn't say
Black
Justice
Adam
League. I would
to
say
come
There's
out.
a lot of
No.
people
How
that
does
are
it-
They
going
weren't
to
gonna
show
do
up.
that 'cause
to
we're in a new-
support-
Well,
Warner
let's
Brothers.
just
Band-Aid.
admit that can we all admit that the Suicide Squad is a flop?
Well, yeah, that too. Yeah, people
Well,
can't
well,
argue
yeah,
on that.
Shit movie. It's a fucking
All
crap
right.
movie, and it's a
Okay,
flop.
can we
so-
just- let's
But yeah,
move on.
James Gunn is the head of
let's
DC.
move.
Let's
Let's
just
move
move
I'm
on.
so glad.
Fuck you.
You know what? I'm glad we're starting over. I'm glad we're getting new soup. Okay, I'm glad now. I'm glad.
But how did it
Right.
divide the fan base?
Yeah, it
We were
didn't
saying
I don't
that
care. I
earlier.
don't care.
Here,
Okay.
here's the
I don't
problem. BVS had the biggest opening ever, and then had like the biggest drop off ever. It
It's
was a
not
place-
that
Yes.
you're oversimplifying this, RJ. Like it's that
Yes,
simple,
yeah.
and there's not the baggage of Warner Brothers just giving that and
How the hell it talks-
not
Yeah.
announcing another project with Cavill and telling him to do it on his own Instagram. You know,
But how?
they weren't really showing confidence in the new slate. Still, you have to get. It's people are going to have years of shit from Warner Brothers and then just show up immediately out of the blue after you delay all these projects. The messaging is still all over the place. You haven't announced any new
Here's
projects.
the thing about Cavill.
You
Here's the
start,
thing
you
about
start
Cavill.
saying we got Cavill back.
I'm
We're developing new Superman projects.
Max.
Then you would have had some more confidence in there.
I'm
It's
sound
not
like
as
Grace.
easy as that.
Well,
I'm
how
gonna
did
Grace
BVS have the
Randolph.
biggest drop off?
It did. It had one of the
How?
biggest drop offs. It had
How?
the biggest opening. It had one of the biggest drop
Because
offs.
Drop-off?
the movie stink.
But how? If
Here's-
it made
it was
so
a
much money
steal.
at the box
A drop-off.
office as
Yeah,
it
but
did,
it was.
you
It
know?
made how many in the first weekend? It made like how many? Like the
It's-
biggest ever, right? Biggest ever in theaters, I believe.
RJ,
Yeah,
get
but
your
it
ass
still
on.
made a lot of money at the box office. at the
RJ!
end, so.
But the
RJ, you're
pace
working
was-
me up, bro. You're working me up from the chat, RJ. I'm getting really mad.
I think it's because when I put the BVS on the
No,
box
no.
office
Here's-
game, I
here's the thing,
caused all
Matt.
this
I'm
chaos.
not-
Yeah.
I'm
Damn
not-
it!
I'm gonna sound like
Bullshit,
I'm gonna
how
sound like
dare
I'm gonna
you!
sound like a Cavill
I'm
hater. I'm not.
actually fine. He is
Here, I'm gonna
maybe
sound like a Cavill hater.
naive to ignore all the other baggage with just bringing Cavill back. It's not that simple. And
And
you don't just bring all the audience back out of the blue. You have to build up. You have to build up to bring back consumer confidence. You don't just give 4 seconds and then instantly.
RJ, the Black
I'm
Adam
gonna
was part of
defend.
the
I'm gonna
overseas
defend and not defend
movie.
Cavill.
hands are
I'm
back.
gonna defend and not defend Cavill here. Cavill has not been in the
I'm sorry.
limelight.
I'm sorry, Cal. I'm sorry, members.
I'm
RJ
gonna
is RJ is triggering me. RJ
gonna
is triggering me. It just
gonna-
doesn't happen out of the blue. The consumer confidence is
I'm
not just going to go. What?
I'm gonna defend and not defend Cavill here. The thing is, Cavill is not as big as you think because he's not been doing a lot of stuff since the Witcher stuff, and that's really hurt his star power. And then I'm gonna go defend him right here. he's trying to get out of The Witcher. They got back into movies and stuff he likes, so he could get his credibility back up, so he could be more respected once again. Be more in the limelight and stuff. Like that's what Cavill sees.
God damn it! Goodbye, everyone. I'm gonna go make some hot take videos.
Oh my god!
I just think the studio did Cavill dirty, is all.
I mean, I would say this: a 12-second for me, a 12-second cameo is not going to give me.
He actually left.
Yeah, I know it's not. Even though
think
like
it's-
Matt Jarbo likes to compare it to Venom 2 for whatever reason, even though Venom 2 made a lot less than the first movie.
Yes,
Venom
Doug,
2
and he's trying to get. You're right. He's trying to get back. Yeah, he's trying to get back. Cavill's trying to get.
He has a new with Matthew Vaughn and Guy Ritchie. He has He has 2 movies coming out with Matthew Vaughn, Guy Ritchie 2.
That's why he left Witcher, guys. A lot of stuff he didn't like what Witcher was going, and he knew he had to go back.
Yeah, but he can't do that.
Hey guys,
every
me,
project he's on.
sorry, I made that comment earlier. Yeah,
bro.
The thing is, I want to know is why did Cavill even sign on to do The Witcher to begin with?
Because he's a fan of The Witcher.
There,
he's a fan of The Witcher, and the showrunners failed him. That's the reason why.
The show, it was a show.
But I think me and Nicotina caused chaos because I put BVS on the box office game and Nicotina put a comment on the mailbag.
A lot of haters.
Especially it triggered Max so much.
RJ,
what's up?
You're being naive to just think you give people
Here we
4
go.
seconds and then all the confidence is going to be there and then it's all the consumers.
But you realize that can't get put in
You-
there because The Rock was like, "Hey, I want
You have to build back the confidence gradually. It's not just going to show up day one. Even with James Gunn, people are just going to
Especially
show
when
day one. You
nobody
have to
asked for a
build-
Black Adam movie to
build
begin with.
what
The
the hell are
Witcher
you
was a
talking
divided
about,
show
Bob?
too.
You
The
realize
Witcher was-
though, that they were trying to make Black Adam a movie that would appeal to all fans, especially Snyder fans, though, correct?
How?
Yes.
Black Adam is like a
Like,
D-list
it was
character.
supposed to be,
Nobody
yeah.
And you
knows
don't
that.
announce new
Because they
projects with
literally
Cavill
brought
yet,
back
and you just
Snyder's Superman for that movie, right?
Well, a
Yeah,
12
but
second
Cameo's
cameo
not
is
going
gonna
to
get
build
you
up
hyped.
the box
Financially
office.
support that film.
For all we know,
12-second
the
cameo is
cameo
gonna get
did
you hyped.
actually bump up the box office. It's just the box office trajectory was so low without the Superman cameo. So only the Superman can only do so much to move up the box office for an unknown character like Black Adam.
Superman not have that.
And nobody, okay, 12-second cameo will not get you hyped for anything.
12 seconds.
It's not enough.
If Superman was, I would say, if
mask.
Superman was there for the last 10 minutes of the battle, I will say, oh, yeah.
That cameo definitely would have, like I said, if they had announced that they were going to go forward with a Man of Steel 2 and a Justice League 2 before the movie came out.
All they had
From
to
their
do is say,
perspective, again, from their perspective, like I'm talking about the corporate perspective, they went out of their limb. Okay, The Rock and Sunbuck Productions were out of their limb.
Yes, The Rock.
Put Cavill in the movie.
Yeah.
They put Cavill in the movie with the hope that it would bolster up the box office and it would show Zaslav that there's money in the Snyderverse and there's money in this cast. When the movie didn't financially perform very well, that emboldened Zaslav to basically go, okay, there's no money with this.
Yeah,
fandom,
because
and there's
nobody
no
asked
money
for a
with
Black
this
Adam
cast.
movie. Nobody
Yeah.
cared
It
about
doesn't
for a
matter.
Black Adam movie.
It
Hey,
doesn't
Zima
matter.
Fett. Hey, I love
It
that.
does because
because
who cares
people,
about a Black Adam movie? You should not rely on a D-list
Again,
character
when
to
they
get your
started promoting
alphas.
the fact that Superman was in the movie the week before release,
Again,
you guys
like I
should
said,
have showed
it
up.
probably
It
did
just is
bump
what
up
it
the box
is.
office.
Well,
It did.
I cared about a Black Adam movie, and I wanted to see it. I really wanted to see it, and I did see it, of course. But I think that I cared about Black Adam movie because they made a Shazam movie. So I was hoping that at the end of Black Adam, Shazam would come out and be like, "Who are you, and why you got my shit up?" You know what I mean?
Here's
why
my
you wearing my symbol?
Yeah, but the Shazam also didn't do that well.
Here's my final thoughts. Here's my final
Shazam
thoughts
did well at the box office.
on this
low
specific
budget.
subject, RJ. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Shazam had Endgame. That's Endgame.
5 years of bullshit and giving us 5 seconds of a glimpse of a potential future is not enough to gain all the confidence and take away all that baggage. And
yeah, it's
yes,
not enough.
you may be right. That's the way the studio's thinking, but that's a bullshit way of thinking and on unrealistic expectations of 5 seconds after 5 years of bullshit. That's all they gave. And you know what? We give you 5 seconds and you didn't give us $1 billion. And yes,
yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
You're probably right, though, RJ, that's what the studio is thinking. But that's not, you don't gain consumer confidence back for 5 seconds after 5 years of bullshit and all the stuff.
There's also something else
Warner Brothers and DC fans know. Yes. What?
Something else you need to keep in mind.
What?
This is a company that is not doing very well financially because they inherited a lot of debt. These actors are very
for doing
expensive.
stuff like that. For what they're doing. For doing what
That's why
they're
they're doing what they're doing, because again, the actors are very expensive. Zack's movies have been very expensive. The current DC movies were failing financially; they weren't generating profits. So the cheaper option is to
because
go with
of bad management, not because of them. You shouldn't have to throw your actors under the bus because of bad management.
Hold on. Wait. And I gotta say, and RJ, shut the fuck up.
No. Axel, don't do people do.
I'm trying to talk.
I know, but you do not tell the people on my panel. I will tell people to shut the F up if I want to, but don't tell other members to. Okay, go.
Well, I'm also on my phone, so I'm not trying to purposely cut anybody off. Sometimes it's lag or connection.
All right. Now, RJ, do you have anything to finish? Then we'll get you to Axel, but please do not do that, bro. All right, go ahead, RJ.
No, it's fine. I was just gonna. I don't remember what.
All right, go ahead, Axel.
Oh, wait, hold on. Well, yeah, I got something to say. It's, it's something.
Yeah, you know what? Like, having sex can be kind of fun. You know what I mean? Like, I want to fuck this guy.
Yeah, what the fucking
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my God,
I got better stuff for this.
No way.
Yes, Brian, unfortunately.
To respond to
I wanted to see your question.
One at a time. My dog is
to respond to Film Goblin's comment earlier. He's right. A lot of this is the fault of management and the bad decision making that was done before that diluted and damaged the brand. However, this is a new company inheriting a giant mess, and they're in a tough position in trying to fix it and clean it up, and they went with an option of let's just do clean slate. Now again, could it spectacularly backfire? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. But I understand.
Yeah, but they shouldn't have decided that based on Black Adam's box office. That's the mistake there. Especially when Max pointed out that on the last conference call, David Zaslav said that he wanted to focus on these next few movies to be the best that they can. But now that they announced that they're possibly doing a full reboot, he's just going to throw those movies away and not care about them at all.
Not necessarily.
Which just shows that he's reactionary.
From a fan perspective, that's how some fans are going to feel. But I think from their perspective, these are the movies that end the current universe. They're going to try and make as much money as they can off of them. And whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Now that brought in Caden.
Can we just move on from this topic?
Why does Andre look mad?
Because it's not him.
Because that's not him, it's Nicotina.
No, that is.
I mean, it's Axel. It's Axel,
oh,
Axel.
I'm like, I was
can we just move up at this point with this topic?
All I'm saying is, if they really did plan on doing a Man of Steel 2 with Cavill, they should have announced that way back before Black Adam came out to generate that hype.
I agree with that.
Yeah. They shouldn't have just waited until after, let's see how Black Adam does first, and then we'll announce it. It's like, no.
Again,
just announce it before you do it.
But I think that because it was a last-minute addition to the movie, they just figured, let's make it a big surprise. I mean, they talked about it openly as much as they possibly could on the red carpets and the marketing at the very end. I mean, they did basically what they could do at this point.
I mean, it was shot. It was shot in September.
It was shot super late, and again, I don't think there was much time.
It was shot late, but they planned it probably back then before they moved the release date of Black Adam.
Well, they had two versions. One way it did not. It just showed his upper body.
Two versions.
One with, well, I don't give a fuck what it's called.
Max.
At this point.
Two versions. Oh,
they have two. One was to show up
two
his upper
versions
body.
of this panel. Yeah, I said.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck what it's called. And one was his face on it. So like,
yeah, and like I said, maybe the reboot's going to be a complete disaster, but I think from their point, it's the more financially safe option to go with the clean slate. Because again, you're asking. Because remember, they're going to be doing TV, animation, video games, and movies. Those are going to be
Donovan.
actors.
Donovan, there's no need to advertise Shazam and Blue Beetle and Aquaman at the Super Bowl, just the Flash, because Shazam is basically coming out the month after. There's no need to advertise that, have a trailer or anything like that. And Aquaman is probably like a Comic-Con and maybe Blue Beetle. There's no need to advertise those movies in February.
By the way, I saw like a TV, like a promotion for the Super Bowl ad of the Flash, and it's just Batman, the two Batmans, Keaton.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be?
It's the Flash.
I know, but it's Warner Brothers. It's Batman.
Martin, like I said, you have to look at the timing. The Flash is coming out in June before Comic-Con.
Well, also because literally they're putting they literally don't have much money to market their other movies, so they're just throwing everything at Flash and hoping.
And those movies are coming out later in the year, so might as well there's no need to do it
again. They're making everything on Flash. So
I think it's funny that people think, oh, they're paying $7 million for the Flash. It must be good.
No, it's all about timing, Donovan. It's all about timing.
Man, doesn't make sense.
Why?
They must feel confident about the Flash if they're going to pay at the Super Bowl.
Because it's coming out in June, yes. And there's
confidence, but also it is technically the biggest movie they're releasing next year outside of Aquaman, which Aquaman's a wild card because we don't know how well it's going to be. First one.
I'm gonna bet on this, guys. I think in July when Comic-Con comes, we'll probably get Aquaman and maybe a Blue Beetle trailer. First one.
Well, yeah, we're gonna get a trailer of those movies for sure. But
Amber Heard. I don't think they could do
they have time to work on the trailer from now and then. So,
but I don't give a fuck about no Amber Heard, no Amber Turd, whatever. I don't give a
shit about that.
Well, people do. People. She's toxic right now.
Well, they fucking retarded. They fucking retarded.
Okay.
No, there are.
Well, same with Ezra Miller.
Oh, the bed shitter, the one who pretty much killed Johnny Depp's career. Because the murderer.
Does she owe me something? Does she owe me something? No. Does Ezra Miller owe me something?
The murderer of Johnny Depp's career.
Early to market Shazam.
Calm down.
It's a little early. None of the March movies are being marketed right now.
I want to examine Crazy Joe's comment here because this is where I think there's some people that believe nothing the industry says, and there's some people that believe everything the industry says. But honestly, Crazy Joe, don't we get this all the time?
Yes.
The trailers coming out. The test reads are amazing. This is the best ever.
Yes.
We're gonna promote $7 million for the Super Bowl, and maybe we're hoping to have Ezra come back again.